What is up, y'all? This is JT. I'm starting renovations on a house. As you can see, I've already started, and I forgot to film. But they had laid some linoleum on this hardwood. Haven't figured out why yet. Hopefully, there's nothing underneath there that's a problem, any water damage or anything like that. There's some drywall needs to be done here, and this whole corner piece, pretty much all the way up, I think has been patched in, or maybe just up there. But we get to tear that out and see what kind of damage we're looking at. But you can see in the corner, this stuff doesn't even look like drywall. If any of you know what this is, you should let me know. Maybe this is some sort of a filler that they used. Maybe they used cardboard and put just plaster over the top of it. I don't know, but it looks weird. And this is what the little chunks look like. Some sort of weird thing that I've never seen before. But you can see that the crack goes along here, so we'll have to drill in and find the next nearest stud. Pretty much all this woodwork is shot, so what I'll probably end up doing is tearing it out. Try to save this piece if I can, and tear this out, and this is coming out because I did all that stuff already. And there's the other crack. But as you can see, this house has brown recluses in it. See if I can get closer to this guy. Definitely a brown recluse. Looks like a male, but we have been seeing them pretty much everywhere, like the sheddings, moltings, whatever you want to call it. But we've cleaned some of these walls. This was a inside smoker's house. I smoke right now, but I do not smoke inside the house. I smoke outside. And as you can see, there's just like a buildup of dirt and shit on the walls. All that's got to be cleaned up before I can kills it. But and this whole floor had a huge stain on it. It was a big black oily stain. Who knows what it was? I don't even want to know, probably. But all this trim's coming out. And then there was about 40,000 nail holes. All these have to be spackled and sanded, or sanded then spackled, because a lot of them, they actually stick out, like this one. They actually stick out because of the damage. What you kind of want to do is just kind of get it down, kind of with your fingernails, a knife, scraper, whatever. But there's a lot of places that are like that. You want to knock these down, otherwise they're going to show through your paint. And situations like this, like, you could sand that if you wanted to, if you really want to be a perfectionist. Everywhere where there's something sticking out. But I don't want to make this too long of a video. As far as water damage, every once in a while you'll find some. There's shit. Looks like they duct taped on the wall. And there's a little bit there. So it looks like maybe it's traveling that direction. So maybe that way up on the roof. There's a little bit right here in this corner. So somewhere above that section. And a little bit drips here and there. That could be from the shower, who knows. Usually when they're bigger, they'll come through. But as you can see, this is all god awful. Just terrible. And these are actually plastic tiles that are just glued. There's like 10 layers of there's 10 layers of wallpaper on here, so I don't know if you can see this, but let's find a better spot right here. They use like the thinnest sheetrock in here. And it's just crazy. These possibly could be asbestos, so we're not messing with that for now. Everything will have to be closed off from here. And also, there seems to be under this first layer, this layer is fine, this is vinyl, and the adhesive seems to be okay, but when you run into this right here, this black stuff right here, there's a good possibility that that's asbestos. And also this burgundy color underneath here, if the tiles are not asbestos, they're VCT, then the adhesive underneath can possibly be asbestos. But we were hoping this was hardwood floor, but apparently it's just another subfloor put on top of the plank. But as you can see, this is it's just awful. It's just awful. And I don't know if there's a load-bearing header right here, but this may go away to open up some space. But just tear this off, and then all this trim is going away. I don't like this trim. It's plain. It's just plain. It's not big enough. It's plain. This crown molding crap right here. I mean, it probably at one time was nice, but it's just not for me. I like the 4.5, 4.5, 5.5, somewhere in there, almost baseboard, and then just route it so that it looks good. But as you can see, I tore all the trim out of this one room, and there's another seam right there that's cracked. But as you can see, most of it's drywall, maybe 1/2 inch or a little bit bigger, maybe 5/8. But there's all this, just look at this shit just built up. And every once in a while I'll see this, like something chewed up or marred this. I don't know if somebody took a screwdriver to it or what, but I see this all over the house and it's kind of freaking me out. And then behind here you'll see that stuff again. It almost appears to be, I don't know what it appears to be. This is drywall. This came from probably this type of corner right here, probably came from right there. But then in these spots there's like this, and I probably shouldn't be touching it barehanded. Maybe it's termite damage. This actually, this looks like termite damage right here. So, oh my, yeah. I think what we're dealing with is termites. So, as for this being just a quick flip, this is gonna be some work. So I assume that the termites have eaten all of these studs out. We'll have to see how bad that damage is. But follow me into one of the other bedrooms, which I guess is the master bedroom. I don't really know. Got some closet doors here. But if the termites have destroyed a lot of this, which they probably have, then we're definitely gonna have to deal with that. As far as the hardwood, it doesn't seem like they got there. And here's a stud right here. The water is getting in on this corner, and I had first thought that was mold. I looked at it, but apparently it's like the tar like adhesive. Hopefully it's not too bad. And it looks like there's a bunch of steel wool behind here. So yeah, they've tried to repair this with plaster before, and they stuck steel wool in there. But oh my god, you can see light. That right there is outside. That is the light. And there's plants. You can see them growing into the wall. That is crazy. So this, like, I'm gonna start like probably right about right about here. Well, the stain starts about here, so we'll start somewhere in this region. We'll just cut across like this, and then we'll come down. The water damage seems to come all the way over here, so we'll just cut out small pieces until we don't run into it anymore. But the first thing is you got to get the trim out of the way. And you can see the water damage goes all the way over here because that's what's peeling the paint up, which hopefully is not lead. But it's crazy. The floors actually look cleaned up. They look pretty nice if they're sanded and refinished. Whoa, standing up made me dizzy. But cobwebs, you gotta deal with all this. You gotta clean before you can paint and prep everything. All this has gotta come off, and all the trim, because this trim is just like, it's just so plain. Like, look at it. So, and I pull all these off and I just toss them. When I used to work for apartments, we would actually, before we'd flip the apartments for the next tenant, we'd remove all these and the receptacles. But something I noticed in this house, if I could find one to show you, is these are all put in upside down. And it's not cool because whenever I go to plug something in, I'm always like, I always have it upside down. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But so far some of the walls look good. So you need some nasty spackle there. Spackle. I don't care what you guys call it, it's spackle. But as for this termite damage, that's a whole new ball game. Hopefully they didn't get too much of it. Maybe there's little sections where they're getting in. But let's go show you the outside of this rotten. This is all what I've pulled out so far. And as you can see, what I did was kind of ghetto. But there's probably where you were seeing through right there. Or probably more along the lines of down further, actually. Yeah, probably somewhere in there is where the sill plate is probably run. So these bricks actually might have to come off. And there's a spigot right there. That's going to be a pain. But I think this gutter may be the culprit. But it damaged all in the corner. I have this covered up, but you can see the water damage. Extensive water damage goes over here. And just the way this is built, there's no drip edge. This is not a proper drip edge. This is decent because if you can see, that's pitched down, but this is still wood and it's not properly painted. All this stuff is just water damage. And even here, it's hard to see, but this actually pitches in. So there's probably water damage all the way across here. And I believe, yeah, right here, about in this area. Because I'm next to that window. It's going to be right in here is where the water's getting in. It's probably getting in right here in this corner. So the best bet is to take these stupid shutters off. And wow, yeah, see, that's where they're getting in. Ooh, is there termites in there? Well, see right here, that's probably where it's getting in. But all these outer boards and all this window stuff, it's all got to be changed out. And looks like we got water damage up there. On the wood soffitting, I don't know what they call that, if they call it something different. There's a little water damage there, so all that's got to be replaced. Probably with something vinyl. Here's some of the wood that I just peeled off with my hand. make sure if you do that, you always stick the nails down towards the dirt so you don't step on them. And as far as the water damage across here, I don't know how it would be getting in, because this is all wood, solid wood. As you can see right here where the paint's kind of come off, it's solid wood. But yeah, it's definitely, you can see in there. Maybe it's wicking up, maybe the termites got it. Maybe it's not solid wood, maybe it's just like some sort of ghetto siding. I don't know. This is going to be quite a big project, I believe. But yeah, this is just going to be crazy. And as far as the roof goes, there's leaks all over the roof. I assume probably in these corners right here, because it's probably not done right. And there's some stacks way in the back by that power pole that's falling over. There's some stacks going up and down. There's a couple in the back over here. That's probably where they're leaking at, because the flashing around those sometimes leaks if you don't tar them properly. And like I said, all these bricks and all this is just done wrong. I mean, look at this. That's sticking out from the house because it pulled away. You can see how far it pulled away at the bottom, but at the top you can just see, wow, it's just pulled away. And it only wraps to about right here, so it's not going to be that big of a deal to get rid of them. Just don't know what to replace them with. But yeah, that's it so far. Let's see what happens. But this is the kind of stuff that was on the floor, this black nasty goo. And it's just awful. All this wood, this is rotten. May just have to buy a whole new front door with a case and everything, and just go about it that way. But hopefully there's not too much. Oh look, is that a roach egg? I don't think this is even properly headed. Might not even be a header above that, we'll find out. But yeah, that's what I'm working with so far. And look at these designs, that's crazy. There was more water damage. There's water damage over here. A lot of it, you can see the giant spot, and the sheetrock's actually falling down. So any of those places might have to be removed. And there was also a giant crack here. This may be an expansion crack, a settling crack, or caused by water, because there is a little water leak right there. So that water in the bathroom could actually come in from here and go all the way into the bathroom. It's kind of hard to track the leaks. You just have to watch where the, see, it goes all along there, or it could actually be going that direction. So it could be going that direction, following that seam, and it just wicks it right up. So usually you're gonna get up in your attic and you're gonna try to trace that leak, but I assume since this is bigger, the leak is gonna be a little bit that direction, because the side that looks like a penis is usually the end. And so when the water comes in, it stops. Well, when the water comes in harder, it just follows that line. And if I follow that line, and if it continued, it would be somewhere in here. And I don't see too much, so hopefully it just stops right in between here somewhere. It's gonna probably be in this area, and we'll find out. So we'll have to go in the attic and do some investigating. But so far that's it. We got to clean out a whole bunch of junk. They left a lot of stuff in here, like old mattresses and box springs from Lord knows when. And that's, I guess that's a good little tour of what's inside a spring coil mattress. Little coils all sewn together. But anyways, I'm gonna get started on ripping and tearing this out. Ripping and tearing. But none of this stuff is getting touched. When this is gonna be touched, just in case the adhesive or the tile itself is asbestos, this is all going to be blocked off here, as well as here, which is going to be a major pain. And then what I would probably do is run an exhaust fan out this window and possibly hook some sort of a catch bag to it so that the particles aren't flying up in the air. A filter bag. I just have to research and find out what to use for a filter bag. So basically, like, I have this old furnace blower. It's a 2-speed, and what I do is I just put this in the window. I painted this to protect it, and then somebody set it outside and it got some rust in there, but it's a pretty big one. If you can get one of these secondhand or whatever, you can use this as a vent fan rather than going out and spending like $200. You know, just go find an old furnace, pull the blower out, and there you have it. And just cardboard duct tape. That's really all you need. I stuck it in this window, and as you can see, it blew a bunch of leaves and crap that were stuck in it because it was sitting outside. It blew it all into there, so I have to vacuum that out now. But it does a good job. Like, it takes the dirt and the dust and it blows it right out the window. But if you're doing anything with like asbestos or anything like that, just do not just blow that outside. You need to collect that. If you have to, call the professionals. If I have to, I will call the professionals. I actually worked for them before, so it's not that big a deal. See what they cost. And there's also water damage in here. I don't know what all that is. There's water damage in this corner right there, and there's also water damage in this corner, and as you can see in that little thing, and there's also possibly termites. So if there's termites, we're looking at a whole different ball game, like ripping out studs, redoing studs and sill plates. It's just going to be a nightmare. But that's a tour so far. Just gonna do one room at a time and see what we run into. I think I'm gonna have some stud issues in this corner because of termites, but I'll go into the garage, which is right next to it, and inspect that. If I have to tear out a wall, I have to tear out a wall. We gotta do it right. Like Mike Holmes says, do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. So make it right. Looks like I missed the nail. So that's it on this video. Thanks for watching, and I will keep you updated.